You're listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. Each week, your host, Polly Requa, interviews veterinarians and individuals in the pet industry from across the nation answering pet questions. Bark and Wag podcast is produced weekly for your enjoyment, and show notes can be found at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. That's BARKNWAG.com. Please remember to subscribe to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk.
Thank you for listening to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk. Bark and Wag is dedicated to protecting our dogs through advocacy, education, and supporting like-minded dog lovers by selling custom pet products. Bark and Wag is excited to announce our new partnership with a Colorado hemp farm to produce a line of CBD products for your pets. Bark and Wag has CBD pet tincture available in 300, 750, 1200, and 2400 milligrams. Bark and Wag CBD is pet safe, no THC, it's made in the USA, and is CO2 extracted. Please check out Bark and Wag's website, barkandwag.com. That is BARK, to see our line of CBD and awesome merchandise. We love pooch ideas for podcasts and merchandise, so anytime send an email to Polly at barkandwag.com with your suggestions.
Welcome to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk. I'm your host, Polly Requa. Today we're talking to Steve, president of Pug Rescue of Northern California. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Polly, for having me
Yes.
today.
Oh my gosh. We are pug fanatics here and want to find out all about Pug Rescue of Northern California.
Well, great. I can tell you all about it.
So when was it established?
In 1996 is when we were incorporated into our 501c.
And what area do you handle?
So we handle all of Northern California. We go to the Oregon border, and we also serve Reno, Nevada, Carson City, the southern part of Nevada.
And so how did Pug Rescue of Northern California start?
Well, it started with a breeder that was in Northern California. Her name was Mary Ann Stanley, and she was actually a pug breeder in the early 90s, and she realized that there was a great need for a pug rescue. So she kind of just started doing it on her own, and then it led to a couple other people joining in, and then the rescue was incorporated in 1996.
Okay. And how long have you been president?
I have been the president going on 10
Oh my gosh.
years.
You wear a cape.
Yes, I always say it's very rewarding, but it's very exhausting in the same breath. Yeah, but I love the breed. I just can't tell you how much I love pugs.
Yeah.
They're just the best. I love all animals, but pugs, I've always wanted a pug. As a child, and as a young adult was the only time I was able to. Once I moved out on my own, then I was able to get the dog that I wanted.
So do you guys have a actual facility, or do you just have fosters, or how does your organization work? Because every rescue that I talk to, everyone has like some type of different establishment.
Yeah, I mean, we would love to have a facility, but we do not. So we count on and greatly appreciate our foster homes. So we say that we're foster home based. And once we bring the pugs in, then they go into foster homes.
And how many pugs do you currently have in foster?
We probably have, I want to say 22 currently. And we rescued 131 just last year in 2023.
Oh, good for you guys. And so can you just tell the listeners, especially if they're new to hearing about rescue organizations, about the different volunteer options? You know, for example, Pug Rescue of Northern California has?
Yeah, so it all starts with our fosters. We have an application online at www.pugpros.org. And they fill out an application, and then we go through that just as we do an applicant that's looking to adopt from us. Many of our fosters have been doing it many, many years, much longer than I have been with the rescue. And I always say that the fosters are the backbone of the rescue, because without them, we couldn't save the lives that we do.
Sure.
And the fosters supply a premium food for the pug and provide the love, and we take care of all the medical expenses while they have the dog.
Okay. And do you have people that do home visits and events? Okay.
We do. I mostly do them. I do have some volunteers at Foster that do house checks as well, but that is part of the process, is going to the new fosters, making sure that it's a safe environment. There's no open slats on gates and the gates are locked, and just to protect the
And
pup.
do you rehome outside of Northern California, or do you just stick in that area?
We do occasionally. It's just based really on the pug. A young pug, yes, we would, but a senior pug, depending on the condition of the pug, and how far the pug would have to travel to their new home. So the answer is yes, we do it, but it's not often.
So how can listeners help?
Well, there's lots of things that we look for. Again, we look for foster homes. We look for people to help us with transport. Currently, we do pickups, and I do have a couple volunteers that do that for me to help me. Some fosters, they can provide the love and the safety of the home, but for example, they don't drive. So the vet visits and stuff. So I have volunteers. So transport would be like the main other part of the, issue. And then we do 2 events a month currently. And what I mean by events, we do adoption events at local pet food expresses, which is a local pet store that's in California. And we ask for volunteers to help us maybe pick up a foster if they live nearby. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, all hands on deck. I mean, I would love to find someone that does grant writing that can help us try to locate some grants. Event coordinator, so we can have, fundraisers. That's really hard to find someone that's, got an open mind and can think outside the box.
Well, once you're a pug owner, you're kind of a pug fanatic. So, I even have pug sandals from Jack Rogers. You're not, pug people are just nutty. And so there's got to be some listener that's listening to this that says, oh my God, I know how to write grants and I have a pug and I'm going to help you out. So let's put that out in the universe. So how do people get a hold of you?
They can reach out to our website, which again is www.pugpros.org. And there's lots of different links on there: application, foster application, volunteer application. There's a phone number as well. Our website is pretty awesome. It has all the tools that the visitor of the website would need and questions.
And people can help remotely. Not the foster, but if you had someone that was listening, you could definitely help and volunteer their time. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with, like trying to help with getting donations, reaching out to people that they know that have influence, that can help us. We spent about $145,000 just on medical expenses last year. So we don't spend foolishly, but we've had a lot of sick pugs this year. And as you and I, we love pugs, and our listeners, I'm sure, do too. We will do whatever it takes to save the life. If we can save it with medical attention, we do.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, thank you for being on the podcast, and we look forward to having you back.
Yeah, thank you very much, Polly.
Thank you for listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll pass along our web address, www.barkandwag.com, to your friends and other pet owners. Have a pressing question for a veterinarian? Ask your question at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. This has been a KFR production. Join us next time for another edition of Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk.